Okay, okay. I wanted to make this video about like what people would call pickup or approaching people you're attracted to. Yeah, whatever for dating or whatever. And I've been I've been doing this program. I might have mentioned it in another video earlier about I'm doing a day game 6 week program. It's called Daygame Masterclass as part of John Anthony's it's called Occam's razor. He's he teaches you about stuff like that. So I want to talk about my experience so far. Like I've attempted it before on previous, like say like last year I gave it a shot, but this year I wanted to give it another shot, you know, and not chicken out and not complete the course. But yeah, um uh so now that I've done 2 weeks, my like I can share my experience and where my head's at right now. So um the first week was all about approach anxiety. So just approach and get over the approach anxiety. So my experience with that was actually approach anxiety is just something superficial. It's not a big deal. It's not You're not going to die. You know what I mean? Nothing bad happens after it. Of course, maybe just give yourself time. Like you might be really nervous and freeze up the first day that you try, and then come back again the second day. That's what happened to me. So the first day I went out to the shopping mall, it was during Christmas shopping, and I went to go talk. Like I saw a lot of chicks that I wanted to go up and approach, and then I was like, I didn't approach any, and it was quite distressing for me. Like by the end of it, because it's like pummeling yourself down and down, like your ego gets pummeled down, down, down. Every time you don't approach someone, it's like, oh, there's another one. Oh, you didn't approach them either. And it just, you feel it's like weighing on you. So at the end of the day, you're like, oh, fuck, I'm spent. Like I feel completely drained now. Um, because like the expectation on yourself. So each time you see a beautiful girl walk past and you go, "Oh, I didn't," it's actually punishing yourself. You know what I mean? Because you wanted to. That was the reason why. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I'll go on with the next point. But then I went out the second day, and I actually started approaching now. Of course, I was very nervous, but now my feet were taking me to someone that I wanted to talk to. You know, and I realized, oh, is that all? Is that all that happened? Is they said no, or she has a boyfriend, my friend has a boyfriend or something. So I guess I wasn't really after results as such, or maybe I was, but the main thing that I felt good about in that first week was, um, oh, I'm approach anxiety. It's nothing. So then on the third day, um, I was on my way to the shopping center, and I was like, as I'm walking there, I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling the butterflies, and I'm thinking, is are these butterflies because is it because I'm expecting something bad is going to happen? Like I'm about to fight, like a pro fighter or something, a pro UFC fighter, or am I, or am I like feeling these butterflies because could I reframe it to I'm expecting a rush from actually approaching people? Maybe. Yeah. So anyway, whatever it was, I went up and approached more people, and then what I found, like in the second week, for example, doing the second week, coming towards the end of the second week, I realized, like on the last day of approaching, you can do 3 days of approaching. He says do 2 or 3 days, and I chose three. And in each session, you can approach 5 people if you like as a recommendation, 3 to 5. And so we're up to 4:20, 4 minutes 20. But yeah, like I was like, okay, a lot of these girls, sometimes I'm talking to them and you can tell they want to leave. Like they'll be polite enough and stop for a second or curious about why you wanted to talk to them. And when they realize, oh, he wanted to meet me because he was attracted to me or something, um, it might go on for a few more seconds, like a bit of small talk, like, okay, yeah, my name's this. Yeah, okay, hi. And then they won't seem always weirded out like that face I just did, but they'll just be like, okay, yeah. and then you ask them what you're up to, and whatever they say is what they say, and then it feels like they just want to leave now. Um, I felt like sometimes I'd want to jump in and say something else, and then to actually ask him out for a coffee or something. You know what I mean? Soon after. But the thing was, in the last day of the second week that I was approaching the third day of 3 days, um, I was like, okay, today, if a girl wants to leave because I'm talking to her, like I'll say, excuse me, she'll stop. I'll start saying, I want to meet you. I wanted to meet you. What's your name? My name's Alan. What are you up to right now? And then if she tells me and then she wants to actually leave the interaction, then okay, I'm not going to try and stop her. Like, no, I wasn't trying to stop her last time. It was just like, if you think I'm getting creepy or something. But the thing is, I'd try and say something else, and then she'd be like, oh, he's saying something else. But I realized now I just want to let them. I don't want to force it. You just let them go, you know. Um, and yeah, and then if you stop and talk to someone as well, if someone's already stopped and they're doing something like in a shop or and you're talking to them, um, like on the flip side, yeah, you could feel like you're forcing it as well, and maybe you feel like you're disturbing them. So it doesn't feel like it's a reciprocated interaction. She'll answer a few questions. She'll answer your questions, but probably briefly, you know, being brief and not really showing much enthusiasm, maybe. And then if you, yeah, so there could be that too. Either you stop them on their way by saying excuse me, and then they want to leave, and then if you just let them leave, then it's not forced. Or if you're going to keep talking, it's forced. If you stop where they are and you start talking to them, if you're trying to prolong the interaction, then it can feel forced as well. So then for me to leave the interaction, say, oh, okay, anyway, I'll let you get back to it or something. And usually, yeah, and then usually they're pretty, like, I'm not going to say usually, I've only done it like a couple of weeks so far, but people are pretty polite normally. Yeah. Sometimes they'll be like a little bit blunt and you want to say, excuse me, I wanted to meet you. And they'll say, no, thanks. Like that happened once on that day. Yeah. But yeah. So the point I'm making, so the conclusion I came to after those 2 weeks is okay. The first week you're getting excited that actually nothing bad happens about approaching someone. It's not that bad, you know. Um, so you get away from that nervousness that really was quite superficial and not an accurate reflection of reality, and then you notice in the second week that maybe if you're going to keep at it, if you're going to keep at this, then really not a lot of women, or it's going to be rare, maybe rarer than not. Like it's probably going to be quite common that a woman doesn't want to stay there talking to you, or it's or if you stop to talk to her, it's going to feel forced. So um, realizing that that's realistic, and if you're willing to keep going, then that's what's to keep in mind is you're not going to get like what would you say success as far as okay this person likes me, we're going to take it further or whatever. It's probably not going to go further with most people. Just to realize that, you know. And then that is quite humbling as well because you go, okay, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to approach people. Oh, I should have talked to this girl, but really, most people, most girls are not gonna um, want to talk to you, and or want to be approached, and if you stopped, it's gonna feel forced as well. So you're probably better off saying, okay, it was good to talk to you, see you later or something, you know, whatever. So that's probably where I'm at right now is knowing that most most women, you know what I mean. So maybe yeah, you know, so then I'll keep going further and learn what's next, which is about vibing and the actual conversation. But there's nothing to vibe if the person doesn't want to be there anymore or it feels forced. But that's something to keep in mind. You can improve, but most people are not going to be into it. But that's okay because you're not going to force it, and you're going to keep going and not give up. Yeah, that's the point. Um, but now that we're at 10 minutes, maybe the last thing I could say is it's quite humbling. It's a humbling experience because sometimes when you talk a bit of trash with your friends and be like, oh, what I would do to her, or you're like, all this stuff they talk about, like Steel Panther, how they sing and they sing about really sleazy stuff. Well, it will humble you a bit because you're like, I've actually walked up to these women and tried to approach, and it actually is quite a beating for your ego. You know what I mean? So you realize, okay, yeah, you kind of swallow your pride a little bit. You know what I mean? And you go, okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this, but like, yeah, I actually walked up to her and she doesn't want to talk to me. Yeah, so it's all good. And the other thing too is it puts into perspective. Maybe there's a last thing I'll say. Maybe that it puts it into perspective how maybe if you're not approaching anybody and you're just relying passively on your own circle, so whether that's at work or um, if you go into a shop and the shop assistant greets you or something that you regularly see, or it's people you met through friends, so friends, and then you might, or where you go to school, so places where you have no choice but to talk to this person, you know what I mean? Or it would be rude if you ignored them, kind of thing. Just like the decent thing to do is probably to chat to this person because they're like involved in your work environment, or yeah, with friends, or friends of family or something. And then the thing is, you might feel like nervous, like, oh, I should ask her out, I should ask her out, I have a crush on this person. But the perspective is, because most people, when you get through your head that when you start approaching, most people either don't want to keep talking to you, or so they'll keep going, or you're gonna feel like it's forced. So you're gonna walk away too because you know you're not. I don't know if you would call it harassing them, but it's it's a bit draining on yourself too. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here now. If they're not really giving me anything back, and you get to realize that maybe most women won't like you anyway on that level. To like you have a crush on them, and it probably won't be reciprocated anyway with most people. So don't beat yourself up or be overwhelmed when it comes to a colleague at work, or maybe a shop assistant who's being friendly to you, or friends of friends. It's okay if most of them don't like you, or you're like, oh, why doesn't this person like me or show much interest, that I sort of instigate asking them questions, but they seem a little bit, yeah, like a little bit, and not really enthusiastic about getting to know you, and you don't feel a spark with them. You know, it's because it's not that common, really. It's not that common. Once you put it into perspective because you're approaching now, and you notice most women don't want to talk to you. So then, why is it any um, surprise why in my environment around me, my everyday um, circle or my environment, why they don't feel the same way as me either, like a crush on me as well. Or you do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Why is it that most people is because most people aren't going to want to talk to you, but then maybe there's a rare amount, but it's better to to maybe give it a shot at least and approach someone than never do it. You know what I mean? It's either do it never do it, or be prepared to do it um, for the few good results, or maybe favorable results that you will see. Yeah, there you go. But you can improve too. Maybe you'll be more at ease, and someone will want to talk to you longer, or you'll get better at approaching. But now we're at 15 minutes, so I'll stop it there. Have a good one. That was just about approaching and what I've noticed in the first couple of weeks. Yeah. All right. Cool. Have a good one. Yeah. But be prepared for your ego to be flattened. Notice that nothing bad is happening from approaching, but in fact, most just don't want to talk to you anyway. But nothing bad happened because you let them walk away, you know, and you walked away if someone didn't really want to talk to you, if they were already stopped, you know. Yeah, cool. All right, have a good one.